Nobody wants to spend hours creating a piece of content that they put their hard work, sweat, and tears into only to find out that it doesn't perform like they'd hoped. You want to know ahead of time that your video will perform before you put up massive amounts of effort into it. Am I right? Okay, well in that case, today we're going to go over 10 tips to get your YouTube videos to perform better. These are the exact tips that I wish somebody laid out for me when I first got started. And if you stay till the end of the video, I'm going to give you one more bonus tip that might just end up being the most important of all. So tip number 1 is to create your thumbnails and titles ahead of time. And to understand why this is actually very important, you have to think of it from the perspective and psychology of the viewer. What process do they go through when they click on a video and actually decide if it's worth watching or not? Usually a thumbnail or title interests them, then they click, then they might spend a short period of time deciding, okay, is this video what I clicked on and am I actually getting what I bargained for? And if you create your thumbnail and title first, it's so much easier to then after go and create the video that the viewer's expecting. But if you create them after, a lot of times the video won't be paralleled exactly with the title and thumbnail, so it might turn people off when they click it and then find out that the video is not exactly what they came there for. Now, I am still bad, believe it or not, at creating my own thumbnails. I'm still learning, but there is one tool that I suggest that everyone uses if they're just getting into it, and that is Roberto Blake's YouTube Starter Kit. This has been a lifesaver for me. If you look down at my channel right here, I used to make thumbnails that were like this. They were branded, and while I was slowly, kind of piecing together ways to create thumbnails, this really gave me the advantage, essentially, to create better quality thumbnails that pop more and, gives me more freedom to create thumbnails that I think are good. And the best part about the YouTube Starter Kit is it comes with 150 pre-made thumbnails where you can pretty much just plug in a picture and plug in your own text over the other text, and it swaps it out so the thumbnail is already readily made for you. This has been a lifesaver for my channel. It saves me a lot of time creating thumbnails, and I still get the most bang for my buck from somebody that understands Photoshop a lot better than me. Now, the YouTube Starter Kit does usually cost $99. However, when I purchased it myself, I was able to get a coupon code. If you just search the web for YouTube or Roberto Blake YouTube Starter Kit coupon code, my guess is you can find one. I think I found one that was 40% off, and I end up paying like $60 instead of $100, and you can do that as well. If you guys are interested in grabbing this for yourselves, I do have an affiliate link. I'll pop that down in the description below if you want to go ahead and grab it. Now, tip number 2, if you're struggling to find good content ideas, but you want to ensure the videos you create have the best chance ahead of time to succeed, would be to search for proven content. So what you want to do, and I'm going to show you really fast here, is you want to go to other YouTube creator channels that are very, very similar to yours. You want them to ideally be in the same niche as yours and roughly the same size as you. For example, right here, right now, I'm sitting at about 15,000 subscribers, so I'm not going to go to a channel that has 200,000 subscribers because they're going to rank a lot better in search and suggested than I will, so it'll be a bad indicator. Ideally, I want to find somebody that is below maybe 100,000, or more ideally even below 50,000, but maybe like 10,000 to 50,000. And if I can find somebody like that, then that's pretty much ideal. So what I'll ideally do is I'll go find somebody that has a channel that's very, very similar to mine in both niche and size, and I'll go to their most popular videos. So let's go to their channel. A good example of this is Adam R. Fisher. He makes also arbitrage videos and also private labeling videos. So it's very, very similar in niche wise to mine. It's like Make Money Online and also Amazon. And what I'll do is I'll go to their videos, like I said, and I'll sort through most popular. Now you'll notice here that I made a video just like this. His most popular video right here is my first Amazon product, the true results. Well, I made a video exactly like this with my own spin and my own failed private label product, and literally copied his same exact title and thumbnail idea and put my own spin on it with my own experience. Now you can do this with a number of other channels, and you're not always going to hit, just because he got 160,000 views doesn't mean that I will on my video, but it is a good indicator that there's an audience for that topic. So it basically just gives you a little bit a better, reassurance essentially ahead of time that, hey, there's an audience for this kind of topic, and somebody with a similar channel size and niche hit on this video before, so maybe you will as well. Now, a general rule of thumb is if you make, 5 to 10 of these videos where you're seeing other most popular content creators that are in the same niche and same subscriber count roughly, I'm going to hit that home because that's very important. Then if you make about 5 to 10 of these videos, at least one of them is going to hit like you'd hoped. You might not get 160,000 views, you might not get 300,000 views, but you should do pretty well considering your channel size. You might get 50,000, you might get 100,000. So this is a very good tactic that you can use to, essentially really grow your channel and ensure your videos have success ahead of time. Moving on to tip number 3 now, and that is to front load a smart, targeted keyword phrase. Now, I have a tool that I use for this. I'm going to show you how I use it here in a second, but if you look right here, this is what the video title was going to be when I got the idea essentially to create this video. It was how to give your YouTube videos the best chance to perform well. But then after a little keyword research and finding that YouTube videos to perform was one of the best keyword options for me, I decided to change the title to X tips, and obviously I filled in the 10 tips there. This is pre, 10 tips that I laid out. 10 tips to get your YouTube videos to perform better. That's a great keyword phrase. It's not necessarily front loaded, but ideally you'd want that closer to the front of your title, and that's going to basically give you long-term search results and long-term traffic, so that you can build momentum over the long haul. Now, here we are with the Keyword Explorer and TubeBuddy, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by this. So let's assume that I was making a similar video like this. What would be a good targeted keyword phrase? Let's just kind of go through some examples and see, how this tool works and how you can use it to your advantage. And remember, guys, you want to do this before you create the video. You're not trying to, title something. This is why it's important to do this ahead of time. You're not trying to title something afterward because it might not be extremely parallel with your actual video. Ideally, you want to find the title first and then make the video about that. Exactly what I did with this video. So let's say we're making a similar video to this, let's say small YouTube creators. And that's the keyword phrase that we're looking for. Now you'll see here it pops up with a fair score. So yes, there's a decent amount of search volume for it, but the competition is a little bit high right there too. Now there is optimization strength, but ideally you want to get something in the green, and that's what you're going to go after. Now this doesn't necessarily guarantee that your video will hit, but or that it will be success, but it does give it the best chance essentially to succeed long term, and like I said, build long-term momentum, because it will be an indicator that there's search traffic out there for that and not the competition to match that search traffic. So let's find some other similar targeted keywords phrase like this. So starting on YouTube is also very poor. So a lot of search volume, the competition is very, very poor, so that means there's a high amount of competition, although there is high optimization strength. So how about starting to create content? Now that's a very good one. See, that's how easy it is to just play around with keywords. And what I would essentially do when going to create a video like this is maybe I would say something like 10 tips to have a successful YouTube channel when you're starting to create content. Boom. Threw that keyword in there. Like I said, it's not front loaded. Ideally, you want it front loaded in the beginning, but maybe, things to keep in mind when you're starting to create content would be another example of this. And that's a great way that you can use TubeBuddy. Now, there's an audience for this, and that the competition is not necessarily there to match that potential search traffic, hence why it's a great tool to use. Now, if you guys do want TubeBuddy, I use TubeBuddy every single video now, and I have for a long while. Sometimes I don't always optimize them with a very good, but ideally you want to spend a good amount of time and find a great keyword. I will drop an affiliate link down in the description. Believe it or not, this is 100% free. You don't have to pay for TubeBuddy to get the Keyword Explorer. So you can just go through my affiliate link, and then for whatever reason, if you decide that you want to upgrade in the future, as you see here, I am still using the free version. There's a lot of other great tools and why you might want to upgrade in the future. I don't personally use it. I just use the free version, and I use the Keyword Explorer to do searches. But you can if you want to, but you don't have to pay for it. Staying in the Keyword Explorer now for tip number 4, and that is to actually physically say your keyword phrases throughout the video. So what I like to do is I'll write them all down, and then I'll try to make sure that I kind of integrate them into my video and I'm actually saying them throughout the video. A lot of people worry about, the description and the tags. And yes, they're not as important now in 2019, but they're a little bit important, but not as important as actually physically saying the words in your video. YouTube is constantly scanning your audio for your video to best they can determine what your video is about. So if you say your keyword phrases over and over again, you're going to rank higher for those in search results, and YouTube's going to have a better idea of what your video is about so that it can suggest it to the audience that is basically more inclined to want that. So say your keyword phrases. Now you can use Keyword Explorer as well to find good keyword phrases. Ideally, maybe you want to write down 5 to 20 of them, and you don't want to just kind of throw them in there and spew them all over the place. You want to kind of make sure to hit on points. Tip number 5 now is very, very, very important, and that's to have an intro that captures your audience's attention almost immediately. YouTube is competitive. We all know this. So it's very, very important to capture your audience's attention immediately, because if you don't, chances are they're going to click off your video to another video that does. Now, it's been said that you only have about 3 to 10 seconds to capture your audience's attention, but at max, at most, you might have 20 seconds. So make the most of it. Those first about 3 to 20 seconds are the most important of your video. That means you need to get right to the point and basically reassure them that yes, they are exactly where they want to be, and the video that they clicked on is exactly what they're about to get served. Also, do your best to relate to them as well. Why should they care? What are they going to get out of staying and watching the video through? Tip number 6 now is about the ideal length for a video. Now, I think that the ideal length is about 10 minutes and 1 second. In between that and 19 minutes and 59 seconds. Now, before I answer, comment down below and let me know what you think. So the ideal length comes from this essentially. Anything 10 minutes plus, you can add multiple ad breaks in your video. Multiple ad breaks are those little ads that you see either at the end or in the middle of your video. We are all familiar with those first skippable ads right in the beginning, but if you have a video that's over 10 minutes and you're monetized, you can add multiple ad breaks in there as well. Now, multiple ad breaks obviously mean more money for you, the creator, but they also mean more money for YouTube as well. And if you don't think that YouTube is going to suggest and serve and give more visibility on the platform to videos that make them more money, well, quite frankly, I disagree with you. Also, the 19 minutes 59 seconds maximum comes from the idea that you want as much watch time on a video as possible, so you want it to be over that 10 minutes to get multiple ad breaks, but you also want to accumulate as much watch time because watch time is a major factor, among other things as well, that will help your video rank longer in search results. I'm just going to keep that in there because I think it's funny. Will help your video rank higher in search results and in suggested video as well. For some reason, when people see that 2-0 in front of a video for the time, it just kind of turns a lot of viewers off. So instead of getting that 5 minutes of watch time, or maybe even that 3 minutes of watch time, you get 0. Tip number 7 is to script your videos. Now, this is a mistake that I made quite frequently when I was first starting out. I would just wing a lot of videos. You don't want to waste your viewers' time, and you want to make sure that you hit on the points that are the most important. If you wing it, and it doesn't matter how good at winging it you potentially are, you can forget important points and skip over them. I'll pop my plan for this video specifically up on the screen right now, and you can see just how comprehensive it is. It's not written out fully, but there are targeted points there, and I do want to make sure that I touch on all of them, and I literally outlined it in order ahead of time so I knew exactly what I was going to talk about before I made it. So you want to have a plan, but you also want to outline the key points going forward. And yes, I still wing videos going forward, and I will continue to do so here and there. But I do notice that the videos that I have a plan for, and I basically cut around and touch on the points that I know need to be touched on, perform vastly superior to a majority of the videos that I just wing and kind of blindly talk. with those videos, I can kind of waste people's time from time to time and, kind of get lost and carried away speaking like tangents like this, like I'm talking right now. I'm wasting your time. But if I hit on specific points that I know I want to hit on, well, then you get all the value out of it, and I keep the video as short as possible. All right, tips number 8, 9, and 10 now, I'm just gonna hit you with rapidly. Are you ready for them? Backdrop matters, lighting matters, and audio matters. Now, backdrop isn't crucial, especially when you're getting started. But if you're filming a video in front of a camera, this can be a huge, indicator to people just how serious you're taking YouTube in general, and whether they should stick around or not. This is something that I'm seriously considering trying to improve in my own videos going forward. Now, if you have a gaming channel, well then you don't necessarily need to worry about this. And if you're doing screen recordings like I am here, then basically you need to focus on improving, how much you're moving around, how much, engagement there is on the screen, and you want to keep people engaged with the viewing of what's actually on the screen. Ideally, you want to be moving around and showing things on the screen. You don't just want to be talking in the little corner like I'm doing right here. When you're recording on a screen or, using your computer to record, I personally suggest using a Blue Yeti microphone. I'm recording with it right now, and I find that that's the best thing because it plugs right into your computer super easily, plus the sound quality is pretty good. Now, if you're recording with a camera and vlogging, then I suggest you use a shotgun mic a lot like this. But if you're kind of talking, in front of the camera and just kind of sitting there, maybe you're like a finance channel, maybe you're talking about, your experience in business or something like that, then I suggest using a lavalier mic like this. Now, I ordered this about 2 weeks ago, and I've been testing it out, and it has vastly improved my audio quality, and I plan to implement this, a lot going forward. So audio definitely matters. You want to maximize your audio quality. It is one of the most important things. It's also one of the biggest turnoffs for people when they come to your video and the audio quality sucks. Now, for lighting, I suggest 2 things. I mainly use a ring light. That's the little ring light that goes literally around the camera. You put the camera in the middle of it and you kind of adjust it. I find that it's literally the best light that I've ever used. I suggest that light to a lot of new content creators or people just looking for lighting advice in general. And I also suggest using umbrella lights if you're just getting into it because you have a lot of flexibility with those and they're very, very cheap. Now, all these things I will make sure to link down in the description. And because I love you guys, I'm going to give you 2 more bonus tips. Not just 1, 2. So the first tip that I want to talk to you about is to comment on other relevant channels. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to find other relevant channels that are either the same size as you or a little bit bigger or slightly smaller, and you're going to want to turn on post notifications. And what that's going to do is every time that you get hit with a notification that they uploaded a video, right away you're going to want to try to go run to their video, find something thoughtful to say, don't just spam, find something thoughtful to say about the video, give a little bit of insight, and comment below. That's going to give you potential exposure and is literally one of the best free methods that I know currently to generate free traffic to your videos and capture potential views and also potential subscribers. And if we just scroll down here on the left, you'll see just how many channels I'm actually subscribed to. Now, I don't suggest doing this as much as I do necessarily, and I don't always, comment on other videos. However, you ideally want to be subscribed to a bunch of them because that gives you a bunch of opportunities to hit this home. But finally, the last bonus tip, and perhaps the most, important tip of all, is just to have fun. Have fun, guys. Enjoy creating the content and enjoy the creative process and going through the entire motions of creating the video. If you're enjoying yourself, that's going to radiate through the camera or, wherever you're filming or however you're recording, and people are going to notice it and they're going to enjoy it more as well. If you enjoy it, they'll enjoy it too. So I hope you guys really like these tips. These are the exact tips that I wish someone compiled and gave to me when I first got started. But what's one tip you would give to other content creators yourself so that they can get the most out of videos too? Let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you appreciate any or all of the tips today, and I'll see you in the next one.